Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to go ahead because apparently when I tweeted this stuff about the triangle, just kind of didn't have any audio because I had the microphone in the wrong jack. We as a society, we always seek direction. We always look for the means by which to have our decisions made for us, whether or not we realize it. It is really a dictator's wet dream. A dictator's main achievement is to have people who just live by that. That they like to have the decisions made for them. And to have some people actually like the idea of people thinking for them. Unfortunately, what ends up happening is there's a technology out there that is specifically intended to where you have no thought processes whatsoever, and the only thing you have are biological functions, and somebody is thinking for you. An entire generation of this stuff. Anyway, about the hands, I've been kind of studying this, because I consider myself a hobbyist esoteric researcher. The study of extraterrestrial technologies, so to speak. And at the same time, the ability to decipher between human technologies as well as not so human technologies. And I found out. I was just sitting there looking at this, and I realized these are your hands, right? You use them. These are your tools. These are the means by which you interact with your daily life. And there's a little circle in the knuckle here. We all have it. Right? This is you. This is an M, right? You make. This is a triangle. Right? This is a triangle. You make, because this is like a triangle is also like a drafting triangle. Make your own destiny. Because you know how you have people that are getting their palms read constantly, the length of the lifeline, and trying to determine what's if you're going to have a bunch of kids or whatnot, you go and ask somebody to read your lifelines or whatnot, or read your palm, which seems to be quite an ancient thing for us. And the reason I figured it out is because I used to be a drafter a long time ago. Actually, it's been pretty useful for me. I've used it for several things. This is a drafting triangle, so it's the same thing. This one's mathematically nicer. But yeah, I've used it. I didn't make much money as a drafter, but I use my drafting skills and my design skills on a daily basis for any number of reasons. It's money well spent for a very long time. Kind of wish I did have a profession to where I was making the income, but then again, I think I'd be dead. You have you create the lines. You have the lines here, right? This will make the M, right? Make your own destiny. It's pretty wild piece of wisdom that we all need. Today I was I went and I went out skating. Took a nice long one, and I saw my mom start to cross the street. I thought I was going out of my mind, saying, "We're them." And again, it could have been this blonde guy because his shirt was white, but I don't think so. And I just went and I opened my bedroom door, and my dad went, "Ow!" And he's pretty much doing the same thing that the neighbors do here. And what these people like to do is when I'm working, I'll sit there and I'll go and eat, and they'll start crying or whining. Everything is literally torturing us on a 24/7 basis. Literally torturing us on a 24/7 basis. I have been hearing people screaming coming out of that freaking house. So it's pretty heinous what's going on here. We have no payphones in the area, which means that these people pretty much have full control. I figured out that a lot of this stuff is in order to capture FBI and prominent United States government personnel in order to replace them with terrorists. Anybody who comes to the rescue is a goner, so to speak. And I think they've been killing a whole fuckload of people. This morning, I had sent out a tweet, and this was to the federal marshal and the Department of Justice, as well as a couple of other people. And I was reading up on the history of the marshals. They cut down a tree, and of course, because it was chartered by the Supreme Court during the era of George Washington. Excuse me. And this house at 1817 Diamond Drive, Orlando, went ahead, and in the morning where I could hear it, this is where I've been hearing a shitload of someone screaming, and they took down one of the trees, and it was a really, really huge thud to where the actual door of my garage, the side door, was bouncing back and forth. I didn't even think that was possible, but there it was. And I went up there, and the guys were like, "We're them." They were saying that stuff, and I was kind of blown away by this. They have lookalikes of my family members from out of town in that house. And there is somebody regularly screaming. I keep on running. I run into in vehicles. I'll be sitting there going up the sidewalk, right up the sidewalk, and a lookalike of my brother rolled past by in a car, right, like literally. And then as I keep walking, there'll be this guy walking towards me, and it's another lookalike of my brother. And I'll sit there and continue on, and I turn to my left, somebody will be honking, and it's another lookalike of my brother. And it's quite repetitive. I'd say about an average of 12 people today. So the president, to protect his family, will betray the country, will not defend us at all, will not engage this situation at all. We actually do need somebody who physically attacks. And I don't know how in the living fuck to even get started with this. The extraterrestrials here sustain a basic neural interface. One of the issues is upon their arrival, they did say they were dead, which is why I started remembering the Heaven's Gate thing, and these guys started screwing with me quite a bit. Murder is against God. It's against the 10 Commandments. Right? Just so you know. So the first species that we would think that would be out there would be our guardians. These are not our guardians at all. These are just acquaintances right now. They're just keeping me company. Their moral capabilities are above ours. Intellectual capabilities are a little higher. But they have been sitting there stating kill on a regular basis. I doubt very seriously I end up in outer space, but I wouldn't mind it. Actually, I'm pretty set on getting off this fucking planet because these people are all dead. Or pretty close to it. Big time. From actors, famous actors, to Joe Schmo at the corner. I mean, we're talking about like scooping up bums, like scooping up people who work at gas stations, and literally just turning them into shit. Excuse me. My goiter isn't from a DNA test gone horribly wrong. It's from something else. And I'm inviting a spinal tap. And considering that these people are using bacteria in order to infect their own DNA with somebody else's DNA, that this could actually be extremely deadly for these people because it could infect their bone marrow. We've heard of bone marrow transplants, but this is, you actually need your bone marrow in order to survive. There's no such thing as a full bone marrow transplant. There's a couple things I wanted to go over with you too. My father and my mother are both following the same neighbor's modus operandi, but then again, they keep complaining that they won't let them sleep. And, these guys are always laughing at every single thing I do. And they're talking about, I sit there, go outside, and, these guys, what they do is they'll hang outside the garage, go outside, right? And they'll immediately walk away and say, "Oh, are you hearing stuff that's not really there?" It's 2018. We're more than just a little aware of this stuff. I ended up I've caught some eyefuls of some wild stuff, like roaches lined up in a line, like across the floor and stuff, like the Rockettes, and some other really cool stuff. I do remember very distinctly, there were like people driving around with huge sewage pipes. It's possible that they have a shitload of our people out there. These people, like, I'm sitting there skating around, and marijuana was piping out of out of the cars like a maniac. These people are all foreigners. These people are all illegals. Every single last one of these motherfuckers. There's literally a huge need of a bone marrow test, because these are party fucking animals from their country. As in, these are party people that came from one country that were huge party animals and came into this country as party animals. And aren't just assuming identities, now they've been using DNA. What else? There's so much I wanted to tell you. I spent several hours, a couple hours with my backpack with, for information in regards to the fact that there's no payphones here and that they're carjacking people, which is very important, actually carjacking people. As well as torturing people. I mean, they literally torture people pretty freaking badly. I even figured out from our new fucking neighbors the details of fucking John F. Kennedy's death, man. You know what? These motherfuckers did check this shit out. These fools, no, these guys did something far more interesting. They went and injected his fucking skull with metal, as in the bone with metal, and let it leak into his freaking brain. Let it leak down into his brain, and which created a peroxidase freaking overflow and lots of fluid. And that metal alone competes with calcium in the skull and actually weakens the skull structure, and he exploded from heat and peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide does not do well in heat, much less peroxidase. They're doing this to a lot of people too. Right now, I have cellulitis on my legs. I don't have enough money to go pick up the right soaps. I have to wait for a few days or something, I guess. But this is just a constant, the constant attack. It's a constant attack. And taking over radio stations or blocking radio station frequencies and only having their own radio stations be heard and stuff. They're getting ready to jump the gun. And, once again, when you drive around here, if you fly over, please be reminded that a lot of these dealerships are full of cars by people, or cars that were owned by people who were carjacked by these terrorists. They seem friendly enough, and they're not. There's absolutely nothing friendly about these people. I know there's something else. I am the queen. Pretty tired. A little exhausted. You know. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you guys a good one. My brother ended up getting his finger slammed in a car door. And apparently it was with the kid that he babysits that did that. And he had to have his finger lazed. Excuse me, that's what I get for skating for so many hours, and I smoked one too many today. Alright, that's quit for a few days. Anyway, he lazed his finger. He's sitting there, then he goes and sits outside and has a beer with my family. They're drinking this perfect bottle of beer, smiling, and enjoying freaking beer outside with people opening motherfucking fire outside the porch. Now, I've sat there and I've seen people put text messages on his forehead, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, it's like magic, I ended up seeing somebody drawing the magic logo on his freaking forehead. Like, oh, you're not screwed. I didn't even thinking at all. Oh, there was something else I wanted to add to. There was supposed to be like this thing that the British were working on, creating a picometer laser and put it in the upper atmosphere. Excuse me, put it up in orbit. Which is physically impossible because it's not going to remain as a freaking laser that crosses the atmosphere. Not going to happen. No. Looking forward to a nice shower and some serious nap time and probably quitting smoking. I'm pretty stressed out. Like I said, 1817 Diamond Drive. Several lookalikes of my family members. And I mean several of them. I stood there. There was this guy from this tree company. And I was passing by and I kept coming back. And he's sitting there getting on the phone saying, I know he's got the phone like pointed to his mouth and he's mouthing, I know you can see them. And I'm like sitting there going, what? I know you're there. What? Yeah, so I ended up seeing this guy walking in and out of the house. And the owner of the house definitely looks like my family members, which is bad. And it's run by the cops. This is all police, believe it or not. Cops are pretty intense burglars. You think dealing with hackers is bad? I wonder how many of these fucking virus writers are actually caps. I wonder how many of these hackers. I mean, who knows? Maybe they hacked into Hillary Clinton's account with actual caps that leaked the email. Can't trust these people at all. I keep on thinking, like I was on my way back, looking at these people, like these are freaking this is a mixture of people. There's like Russians and Africans and South Americans. A little couple Orientals. A lot of Orientals. All working together. All the old school freaks who want to just dominate the world for shits and giggles instead of creating an economic balance. Want to be gods. Sometimes these people sit there and propagate their shit from their cars, and I'm calling it God's voice machine. Yeah, voice of God machine. Voice of God machine. It's pretty freaking loud. A couple of months ago, my father was sitting there in his office, and I heard a woman in the house next door, on that side, the one with the dog and the tree in the backyard, the big one. And a woman started screaming, and I heard it. I heard water, and I heard ah! And my father lowered his head and smiled and said, "Oh, they killed the old lady." So, once again, we are betrayed by our own government and our own president. I'm going to eat. I think I went and swallowed somebody's smog. Peace and love.